Hello, this is Dave Sugarbaker, and today is the 19th day of October 2025. And I have a brief, very brief quote from Isaiah to get started with. This is Isaiah 40:31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. I've been ruminating on age and aging since my birthday is days away and I will be 81. For all of the advances in medicine, there is still no cure, for the common birthday. I didn't plan to be this old. My father died at the age of 56, and no male relative of mine has lived as long as I, at least in the last century or so, nor has anybody left a pattern or a style for me to emulate. It all just happened. Sometimes when I'm contemplating something new, I go exploring for what others have said on the topic. And sometimes that gives me something to think about. I ran across a letter from Emily Dickinson, written to a friend, and she says this. This is very interesting. Affection, says Emily Dickinson, is like bread, unnoticed till we starve. And then we dream of it, we sing of it, we paint it. When every urchin in the street has more than he can eat, we turn not older with years, but newer every day. Well, Emily, as much as I appreciate your encouraging words about not turning older with years, but newer every day, time does exact a price. Think about it. Today is the oldest we have all ever been, and it's also the youngest that we will, it's also the youngest that we will ever be. Time is part of the human condition, and it's a one-way street. It runs from our past through our present moment and into the future. It's the fourth dimension. There is left-right, there's up-down, there's in-out, and then the fourth dimension is time. We can't fight time. Aging, says Kitty Collins, is the only available way to live a long life. And Charlie Schultz says, just remember, once you're over the hill, you pick up speed. As time accumulates for us, things seem to move faster. This is a relatively simple math problem. Ask a 4-year-old to wait for a week, and to them it seems like forever. In fact, that week of waiting is 1/200th, roughly, of their lifetime. And ask a 60-year-old to wait a week, and it goes by in a flash. And it's only 1/3000th of their lifetime. No wonder life seems to move faster as we age. The other consideration, however, is that as we have lived in the last, in my case, 80 years, the pace of life may in fact have accelerated. Communication these days is instantaneous, or so it seems. The first automobiles hit the road roughly 100 years ago, and before that, Cincinnati was a great distance away from us here in Maysville. Now we go for lunch. 100 years ago, taking the train to California took several days. Now California is 4 or 5 hours away by plane. It takes a long time, says Pablo Picasso. It takes a long time to become young. I think that's true. Life really doesn't begin at 40, says Carl Jung. I'm sorry, I'll start that again. Life really does begin at 40, says Carl Jung. Up until then, you're just doing research. Sometimes it bothers me that I am too soon old and too late smart. Becoming young as the years pass is a position of the heart. It takes practice and determination. It's an attitude. It's a habit of being that doesn't come easily. To become newer every day is a deliberate choice that we can make, and it may be also an act of great faith. Henry David Thoreau said, "None are as old as those who have outlived enthusiasm." I've tried to live my life since my 40s as a glass half full person, and I prefer to see the glass half full and filling. Doesn't matter to the glass, but it's a personal choice. Living cynically was just too much hard work. I don't think, on the other hand, that I'm a hopeless Pollyanna. I know that there's real evil in the world, but I choose to put my focus on the positive. I live with a picture of God as my host. This is from the 23rd Psalm. Setting a table before me in the presence of my enemies and pouring into my cup not just what I need or what is demanded by polite society. In that picture from the 23rd Psalm, God, my host, fills my cup to overflowing. It's messy, but the picture works. I believe God intends for us to live more than adequately, more than good enough to just get by. I believe God intends us to live life abundantly, with our cup overflowing, sloshing around and getting the tablecloth soaked. Jesus talks about the abundant life in the 10th chapter of John's Gospel. Jesus says, "Very truly I tell you, I am the gate for the sheep. All who came before me are thieves and bandits, but the sheep did not listen to them. I am the gate. Whoever enters by me will be saved and will come in and go out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came so that they may have life and may have it abundantly." In spite of my years, I'd like to stay open to newness in my days, as Emily Dickinson describes. I think it's consistent with the abundance that Jesus talks about. I'd like to close with one final quote from that great philosopher Betty White. And Betty White says, "The older you get, the better you get, unless you're a banana." So God bless you. That's a great final piece of wisdom from Betty White. If you find this valuable, I appreciate it if you'd pass it along. And in any case, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.